All right, so I just got back from watching Ready or Not 2, Here I Come, the sequel to 2019's Ready or Not. This is from the same team that made, obviously, the first Ready or Not, Scream 5 and 6, and Abigail, which came out 2 years ago, I believe, which I remember liking. I remember liking. I don't think I remember loving Abigail, but, I liked it. Now, as far as the first Ready or Not goes, I do think that's probably their best movie. Their Scream movies are pretty good, but I do think Ready or Not 1 is their best movie. It's nice and short. Not all good movies are short, but this one it's not longer than it needs to be. It's a slasher action comedy. These movies are put into the horror category a lot of time, and I think the first one and this one especially are more action comedies that are hyper violent, with horror elements, but I wouldn't necessarily call them horror movies. So this sequel picks off exactly where the last movie left off. So you could literally watch these movies almost back to back. One big long movie. It even starts with the opening shot. This movie's opening shot is the last shot of the last movie. So it's literally, where it's left off. And this time, I believe her name's Grace. Grace, our main character, is thrust back into this weird devil worshipping cult that rules the world. But because they made this deal with the devil, they have to do things. They have to kill her, and if they don't, they all die. And they have to kill her by dawn. So, because of complications that happened in the first movie, now multiple families are trying to kill her before dawn. We're in a much larger location than we were last time. Where in the first movie we were in this mansion. This time we're in this big, huge resort. So, like most sequels, we go bigger, larger. More action scenes, more characters, all that stuff. Bigger doesn't always mean better, and that is not, and that is definitely the case with this movie. I don't think it's as good as the first one. Now, that's not to say movie's bad. It is actually quite good. It's pretty enjoyable. It could have been a lot worse, but I do think 2 is enough. I don't think there is anything new or interesting we could do with this premise. If you liked the first movie, you'll probably like this one because it's more of the same. But if you're hoping for something a little different, maybe we can take the story in interesting new places. They don't really do that. It's just bigger. There's just more people. The comedy is the same type of comedy, which works for me. I thought the first movie was hilarious. I thought this movie was hilarious, but it is the same type of comedy. So, same type of characters too. Very like you're like, oh, you're this person from the first movie, but that person died, so now you're the new version of this person, that sort of thing. So yeah, this movie's kind of predictable, especially if you've seen the first movie. But again, it's still pretty well made. It's funny. It's got action. It's got good gore. If you're a gore fan, just cartoonish levels of blood in this movie. And I will say the one thing this movie does improve on is, well, I don't know if improves is the right word, but it does add more to Grace's character by incorporating her sister Faith. And their dynamic is kind of cliche. It's the cliche siblings that don't like each other, but they really do dynamic that's been done in plenty of movies before. Older sibling, younger sibling, that sort of thing. But again, it's not awfully done. It's just kind of cliche. So it does develop Grace's character a little bit more than in the first movie, but you could argue less is more, especially in these types of movies. There's John Wick doesn't really evolve as a character all that much in these movies, but again, less is more. That's kind of why we like him. Grace is similar. So yeah, I think if you are a fan of this type of movie like Abigail, Scream, these movies that are technically horror but not really, and they're more action and comedy combined, you'll probably get a kick out of this one. I don't think it's gonna blow anybody's mind. I don't think it's gonna be anybody's new favorite, but it is decent. So if you're a fan of these types of movies, I would definitely say check it out. But if this doesn't sound appealing to you at all, if you're like, I don't like these super violent movies that are kind of goofy, like it's just not for me. This movie's definitely not for you. Yeah, so those are my thoughts on Ready or Not 2, Here I Come.